Hey folks, it's Rob, and this is Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft, and the Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion has just been properly released. The arena had the cards available over the weekend, but they're now available for purchase. And yeah, played during the opening of Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion. I earned apparently 3 packs, so that's pretty great. But that's not enough, is it? No. I have 20,000 points here. So, let's buy some packs. Yeah, they cost as much as regular packs. You know. But, they're Goblins versus Gnomes. Let's see, is it Alt or is it Control? There we are. Double click. That's the one. So, let's buy 20 packs. Yes. There we go. Buying them. Now, I have spent no money on this game, I will point out. This has been all... Oop, I already did the adventure thing. Right, so, this has all been through just doing daily quests. Yes. So let's open up 23 packs and we'll look at the cards. We'll see what they have to say. Warbot. It's 1 cost 1/3, and if you enrage it, it's +1 attack. That's actually pretty damn good. Because you can actually enrage a 1/3. That's an excellent opener. Explosive Sheep. It's 2 cost for a 1/1, but its death rattle deal 2 damage to all minions. Just boom, everybody, all across the board. 3 cost Goblin Sapper has +4 attack while your opponent has 6 or more cards in his hand. So that's a 2/4 normally, but it'd be a 6/4 if they have a bunch of cards. The Anodized Robocub. For 2 cost, you get a 2/2. Comes with Taunt, and you get to choose whether you want to be a 2/3 or a 3/2. What more could you ask? But it's only for druids. And the Clockwork Gnome. 1 cost 2/1. The death rattle puts a spare part in your hand, which is nice. Right. Another Warbot. Another Anodized Robocub. Screwjank Clunker. 4 cost gives me a 2/5. It's for warrior only. Battlecry, give a friendly mech +2/+2. Right, so let's say I had that one. It would become a 3/5. Right. Burly Rockjaw Trog. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain +2 attack, and that's a permanent +2 attack for the character, for the creature. So you know, it's let's face it, your opponent likes to play spells. Everybody does. And another Explosive Sheep. 2 packs in. I've already got duplicates on 3 cards. Well. Another Burly Rockjaw Trog. The Shrinkmeister. Give a minion -2 attack this turn. Is that it? So for 2 cost, you get a 3/2, and you penalize another minion's attack this turn. Only. 4 cost, Goblin Blast Mage. Battlecry. If you have a mech, deal 4 damage, randomly split amongst all enemies. And it's a 5/4, and it's a mage card. The Upgraded Repair Bot. For 5 cost, you get a 5/5. It's Battlecry. Give a friendly mech +4 health. That's pretty good. And the Goblin Stalker. It's a stealthy 2 cost 2/3, which is pretty excellent actually. I could easily see using that. The Spider Tank, a straight up 3/4 for 3 cost. It's a mech. The Ship's Cannon, which should probably end up featuring in a variety of pirate decks, I would imagine, coming up. As there are new pirate cards, so actually making a pirate deck viable. 2 cost, 2/3, but whenever you summon a pirate, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Here we have one of the new pirates. For 2 costs, you get a 4/1, the One-Eyed Cheat. Whenever you summon a pirate, gain stealth. So, if you put this guy down, put down our pirate, he stealths out. The Floating Watcher for the Warlock. 5 cost, 4/4 Demon. Whenever your hero takes damage on your turn, it gets +2/+2. Now, it's easy enough for a Warlock to take damage on his own turn because his own hero power damages himself. But there's other ways to damage himself too. Yeah, that's a nasty card. 3 cost for the Paladin. Muster for Battle. Summon 3 1/1 Silverhand recruits and equip a 1/4 weapon. It looks pretty nice when it happens. You get these 3 minions out on the table, and you get a 1/4 light hammer, and it's like, whoa, we're ready to rock. And in a way, you are. But 3 1/1s aren't amazing. But I mean, for 3 cost, you get 3 1/1s and a weapon. It's pretty good. Another Anodized Robocub, another Floating Watcher, another Screwjank Clunker, another Explosive Sheep, and our Spider Tank. Well, that was just all duplicates. The Metal Tooth Leaper. For 3 costs, you get a 3/3 mech. Its battle cry is give another mech +2 attack. No, give your other mechs +2 attack. So, not just one other mech, but all your other mechs get +2 attack. But it's just for hunters. That means you're playing a hunter mech deck. I'm not sure how that plays out yet. The Antique Heal Bot. For 5 costs, you get a 3/3. That sounds like a terrible idea, except it does do a restore 8 health to your hero, which could save your bacon. 5 costs for the Cobra Shot. Deal 3 damage to a minion and then to the enemy hero. So in addition to hitting that thing that you want dead, you're also doing 3 damage to the enemy opponent. One of our new pirates, the Salty Dog. For 5 costs, you get a straight up 7/4. He's a bit fragile, but 7 damage is quite nice at a 5 cost. Might have been better if he'd been a 6/5 or even 5/7. If this had been reversed 4/7, he'd be amazing. He'd be all over the place. But in the end, and another Cobra Shot. But I can still totally see using it in a pirate deck because he's a pirate. Right, so for the Priest, Valen's Chosen. Give a minion +2/+4 and spell damage +1. Well, that is an enhancement and a half. Wow, okay. There's Salty Dog. The Mechanical Yeti. 4 cost gets you a 4/5, which is like a Yeti. But its Death Rattle, because it is also a mech, gives each player a spare part. And that's 1 for me and 1 for you, basically. For 3 cost, we got a Druid Grove Tender. Choose 1, give each player a mana crystal, or each player draws a card. So we both get a mana crystal, or we both draw a card. For a 2/4 for 3, I'm thinking I'm not going to use it. The Force Tank Max. For 8 cost, you get a 7/7 mech with a Divine Shield on it. Pretty sweet, actually. Ooh. 6 cost, 9/9 Warlock card, the Anima Golem. At the end of each turn, destroy this minion if it's your only one. That is a tricky kind of condition, I gotta say. For the Shaman, 2 cost, you get an Overload 1, deal 3 to 6 damage to an individual target called Crackle. 5 cost for the Druid, Druid of the Fang. Battlecry, if you have the Beast, transform this minion into a 7/7. So you can play it as a 4/4 straight up, bad idea. Or if you have a Beast on the table, this becomes a 7/7 instead. Pretty sweet. Another one-eyed cheat. And the Shielded Minibot, which is pretty sweet actually. For 2 costs, you get a 2/2 mech with a Divine Shield on it. Right. For 3 cost, you get a 1/4 charging, taunting, Gnomerigian infantry. Now, it's nice to have a taunt. It's a 1/4 taunt, though. The charge, it's only got 1 attack. But there are ways to synergize a 1 attack card. But it's for 3 cost. I don't know. I have to have plans for it. 2 cost for the Warlock, a Dark Bomb. Deal 3 damage. For the Shaman, 3 cost, it's a weapon, the Power Mace. Its Death Rattle, give a random friendly mech +2/+2. Now, of course, that assumes that you have a mech in play. But it's a 3 damage, 2-use weapon for 3 cost. But it does that pretty nice Death Rattle on it as well. I could see using it in the right circumstances. For the Piloted Shredder. For 4 cost, you get a 4/3. Not a brilliant stat line. But its Death Rattle gives you a random 2-cost minion. So you get a replacement minion parachuted onto the table. It's a random 2-coster. So, think of it as a 2-cost 4/3, maybe? Or a 3-cost 4/3, and those will cost 1 for that 2-cost minion you get later. However you want to think of it. And our Shielded Minibot. Clockwork Gnome. The Gnomish Experimenter. For 3 cost, you get a 3/2 critter. Battlecry is draw a card. So, okay, you pick up a card off your deck, and if it's a minion, transform it into a chicken. So, if you pick it up and it's a spell, you just keep it. But if it's a minion, any kind of minion, like, say, this Clockwork Gnome, it turns into a chicken, which is a 1/1 card. The Flame Cannon. For 2 cost, you deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion. It's a mage-only card, like they need more direct damage spells. Hello. For 4 cost, I get a 2/5. It's a wee spell stopper. Adjacent minions can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. This is only usable by the mage. And this item can still be targeted directly by the spells and hero powers, but the 2 neighboring ones, the one on either side, cannot be. Could be very technically, it could be very handy in a lot of situations, but it's situational, as are most legendary cards. And our ship's cannon. And our Dark Bomb. Oh, here we go. For 3 cost, we get a 4 attack, 2-use weapon, the Ogre War Maul. And it has a 50% chance of attacking the wrong enemy, however. So, you go out and swing, and you won't necessarily hit the target you're aiming at. So, I like these. 3 cost, 1/4, Wind Fury, Flying Machine Mech. So, you get 2 attacks on a 1/4, and honestly, with a bit of enhancement, because of the Wind Fury, it really does build up fast. Another Ogre War Maul, and a Suit Spewer. For For 3 cost, I get a 3/3 mech, which has +1 spell damage. I suppose. Only useful for the mage, though. Although, I mean, spell damage is useful for everybody, but only the mage could use this card, unfortunately. Another Shrinkmeister. Stone Splinter Trog. So, whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain +1 attack. It's like that strong one we had before, but this is a weaker version for 2 cost, and it costs 2/3. And those +1 attacks, you know, they build up. The thing about the Shrinkmaster is if you ever watch Harvey Birdman, you'll understand what's going on here in this picture. Shielded Minibot. There's the Burly Rockjaw Trog, see? Same thing, half the cost. Jeeves. At the end of each turn, a player's turn, that player draws until they have 3 cards. It's an excellent way to draw to death, that's for certain. Right, so the Goblin Autobarber. For 2 cost, you get a 3/2 mech, and its battle cry is give your weapon +1 attack. So, if I already have a regular rogue weapon, which is the 1 attack, 2 use weapon, yeah, it becomes a 2 attack. Just as an example. I can see how that could be useful for the rogue. Micro Machine. For 2 cost, you get a 1/2. At the start of each turn, gain +1 attack. So it will build up over time and become nasty and horrible. Cogmaster. For 1 cost, you get a 1/2 Gnome, which has +2 attack while you have a mech in play. So, while I have this one or whatever, like, it's a 3/2 instead of a 1/2. For 1 cost, not a bad option. Shield Maiden. For the Warrior. For 6 cost, you get a 5/5, and she gives you 5 armor. So it's got like a combination of, well, basically it's a 5/5 minion, but it also has that shield up kind of card, spell built into her. And our ship's cannon. I'm gonna have a lot of dust after this. The Whirling Zap-O-Matic. For 2 cost, you get a 3/2 Wind Fury mech for Shaman. Sounds pretty nice, especially Wind Fury. Yeah, I could see that being pretty handy for any Shaman, actually. And it's not a 3/1, it's a 3/2. So, yeah, it's actually very useful. Our Shrinkmeister, our Flame Cannon, the upgraded Repair Bot again. I'm not unhappy about having 2 of those for my priest. And another Salty Dog. Okay. Right, there's a Cogmaster. Mech Warper. For 2 cost, you get a 2/3 mech. Your mechs cost 1 less. So it's like the Wii Summoner, but for mechs. Alright, for 2 cost, you get Seal of Light for the Paladin. Restore 4 health to your hero and gain +2 attack this turn. So in addition to any weapon that you may or may not have, you get +2 attack. Now if you don't have a weapon, that means you have 2 attack and you can leap up and smack somebody. Or if you have a weapon, you add +2 to that weapon for that turn. Valen's Chosen again. And another Screwjank Clunker. That's a 3rd one of those I've had so far. Right, for 2 cost, you get Shadow Boxer, which is a 2/3 mech. Whenever a character is healed, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. Yeah, well, yeah. It's like the knife-throwing gnome, except for instead of summoning creatures, you're healing things. Yeah. Clockwork Gnome. Hello. 4 cost, I get a 4/1 stealth with spell damage +1, the mini mage for all classes. So okay, he's a spell damage booster, and he hides out, and he can leap out like a glass cannon and hit something for 4 damage, but only have one health, so he doesn't live long. Snow Chugger. Freeze any character damaged by this minion. It's a 2/3 mech for 2 cost. For the mage only. Boo. I was hoping Snow Chugger would be for anybody. Cobalt Guardian. Remember Total Biscuit having a lot of trouble trying to make this work. For 5 cost, you get a 6/3 mech. It's for the Paladin. Whenever you summon a mech, gain Divine Shield. So you have a Cobalt Guardian in play, you put out a mech, it picks up a Divine Shield on the Cobalt Guardian. Okay? Then you can use that, let's say, and I put down another mech, it gets its Divine Shield again. That's the theory of the beauty of the Cobalt Guardian. You would actually need to build a decent mech deck to make it work that way, though. In Arena, which is where TB was trying to make use of this thing in a recent video, well, it was Arena, so his picks were... he had a few mechs, but they're just not enough to make that kind of strategy work. Fortunately for you folks, some cards have been redesignated as mechs, like the Harvest Golem and the Demolisher. Right, so another Gnomish Experimenter, another Ogre Wormhole.
Golden common.
Well, it's a golden common of a card I don't have, so that's nice. It's 4 cost for 5/4 stat line for Lost Tall Strider. It's a beast. It's yeah, I could see using that in a beast kind of deck. Another Warbot and another Mechanical Yeti. Right, muster for battle again. Another piloted shredder. Another flying machine. Another goblin auto barber. And a regular Lost Tall Strider. Ooh. For 4 cost for Mage, Echo of Mediva. Put a copy of each friendly minion into your hand. So every minion I have out in play, I get a copy into my hand. That could be a good way to, like, burn, but it's also kick ass, actually. I mean, if they're minions I'm playing, they're minions I'm playing, and I generally want them. Yeah, sure. Just make mages even more kick ass. Why don't you? Another one-eyed cheat. Micro Machine. Burly Rockjaw Trog. And Salty Dog. Okay, and our piloted Shredder, and our Cobra Shot, and our Salty Dog, and our Ogre Wormhole, and our Cobalt Guardian. Okay. So that's it for the 20 I just bought. Now here's the 3 that I picked up just at the opening here. The Annoyatron. For 2 cost, you get a 1/2 Taunter with Divine Shield. That makes it actually fairly worthwhile. It's a chump block with a Divine Shield on it. Target Dummy. For 0 cost, you get a Taunt 0/2 mech. It's a Taunter. You see a pile of dynamite sticks there, but there's actually does no damage. Yeah. I could see a use for it, but I wouldn't be very keen. A golden rare. 3 cost for 2/2 stat line. It's a mech. At the end of your turn, give another friendly mech +2/+2. The Iron Sensei. So for a mech deck, that'd be pretty damn awesome. Instead of like the Young Priestess, where you get +1 health every turn. The other mech gets a +2/+2 at the end of every freaking friendly turn. Our salty dog. And the anodized Robocub. Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Whirling Zap-O-Matic. For 5 cost, the Bomb Lobber. Available to all classes for a 3/3 stat line. Deals 4 damage to a random enemy minion. So it's just... a 3/3 for 5 isn't brilliant, but he does do 4 damage directly to a random enemy minion and not a friendly one. It's going to be an enemy one, which is, compared to the Mad Bomber, a very nice thing. And it is 4 damage to that one target, which will generally wipe out pretty much anything. Well, most things that you're going to have sitting around on the table when you play out of 5. So that is something, but it does leave a residual 3/3, and he's not particularly anything. He's a goblin, but I mean that's not a category. And our flame cannon, and our salty dog. And now for our last and final pack. Goblin Auto Barber. Another Jeeves. Warbot. Another Auto Barber. And a Tinkertown Technician. 3 cost 3/3. Battle Cry if you have a mech. Gain +1/+1. And a spare part to your hand. So if I have a mech in play, he becomes a 4/4. And I get a spare part. I like that. Right, so that's all the cards unpacked. As you can see, we did pick up quite a few new cards here. Let's hit the crafting mode. Disenchant my extra cards. Why, yes, 2 rare cards I have extra that I can't even use, and 24 commons. I suppose it could be worse. So to recap, for the Druid, we got a Grove Tender and a Druid of the Fang. For the Hunter, we get the Metal Tooth Leaper. For the Mage, 5 cards for the Mage. I got a Snow Chugger, Soot Spewer, Echo of Medivh, which seems like an awesome card actually. Wee Spellstopper, and the Goblin Blast Mage. For the Paladin, 3 cards. Seal of Light, Muster for Battle, and a Cobalt Guardian. For the Priest, 3 cards. We have Shadow Boxer, and 2 Valen's Chosens, and upgraded Repair Bots. Yep. For the Rogue, 1 new card. That's not true, because the Goblin Auto Barber was new, as is the One-Eyed Cheat. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. But the Iron Sensei is definitely an awesome card. Look at the cherry blossoms coming down. Liking that. I could see him being used a lot. Shaman. There's Crackle. And there's our Power Mace. For the Warlock, Dark Bombs, Floating Watchers, and the Anima Golem. It's a 9/9. That's pretty kick-ass, but it can't be left alone. For the Warrior, I'm certain I had more. Yeah, the Ogre Warmaul was new. Yeah, there's that shield block I was talking about. It's a 3-cost card, so I can see how that's decent value. Screwjank Clunker, I got 2 of those here, and the Shield Maiden. Yeah, here's the Shield Maiden. So in addition to the 5/5 minion, you get the 3-cost spell thrown in. So imagine if it's a 3-cost minion for 5/5, that's well worth your time. Yeah. And then the neutrals. Well, we got the Target Dummy, Cogmaster, And here's the Shield Bearer. For 0-4 for 1, or for no cost, you can now have 0-2 for 0. There's the Annoyatron. There's our Goblin Stalker. Actually, I might buy another one out of dust with her to have 2 of those. Mech Warper, a Micro Machine, Stone Splinter Trog, Flying Machine, the Gnomerian Infantry, Gnomish Experimenter, the Goblin Sapper, Spider Tank, Tinkertown Technician, Jeeves, Lost Tall Striders, Mechanical Yeti, Mini Mage, Antique Healbot, Bomb Lobber, and then the Force Tank Max. So, that's been a lot of packs. Sorry. But this has taken longer than I thought. I didn't actually expect I'd be going through a full 23 packs when I sat down to do those. Looking forward to making some decks. Yeah. Definitely the way the cards have played out, certainly some classes are favored over others for me. But I think anything's workable. We'll see. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, folks. Goodbye.